Hello, it's a lovely good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television News. I'm Jeffrey Ziambo to present. And our top stories in the news tonight: a money lender threatened with legal action for taking a child as collateral. President Hakainde Hichilema pardons over 1,000 inmates ahead of Independence Day. Opposition political parties cautioned on political alliances as uncertainty engulfs the UPND PACT. In international news, thousands of displaced Somalis are in desperate search of food. And in sports news, CHONGWE mayor wants eco-funding for all sports activities.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
This Independence, take advantage of our special offers. We're having our flat drip tips at 2,800 kwacha, or you can get it per meter at 1 kwacha 15 ngwe. Get our 500 meter round hose with a 1.1 millimeter thickness at 1,200 kwacha. Rainglow, bringing you durable products that will last you many seasons.
Hello again, another news in detail. A couple of Lusaka's Mutandabantu in Kanyama constituency has been left traumatized after a woman whom they owe 430 kwacha got their one-year child as collateral for their failure to pay her. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mary Hampanda, who narrated her predicament, says a woman identified as Validia ended up getting her son from her matrimonial bedroom when she failed to pay back her money. The couple has since threatened to take legal action against the moneylender. More in this report.
In an effort to boost her Salaula business, Mary Hampanda of Lusaka's Mutandabantu compound borrowed some money from a lady she identified as Validia. Little did she know the confusion that would hit her later after. Narrating a predicament, Mary Hampanda explains that she borrowed some money from the said lady amounting to 430 kwacha and promised to pay back within the same month of October. However, when she failed to do so, Miss Lydia stormed at her house and went direct into her bedroom and took her son, who was sleeping, as collateral.
Tapelekana kuma polisi na bwana vomera tapasana na agreement ya tipa Friday. So pa Friday na bwana enda kutandaula polisi drama na kwani hapa ya chetekera business ya imilirako atio. So pa manda ya smile enda ku polisi. Waende ku polisi pa Tuesday kuma 05 lompwira manje. Atijeni ku polisi na tiendani za kupezani nenzo sakira ndrame. Siningenda ku polisi nilibeka ngono. Atiyentendire pamoja. Na tiendani za kupezani. Bebe ndibanamba kunyozera ku shout. Sonde bena bwana asiya pado. Na tamangira kuri bakuru banga. Nibwera nipezangira ku bed watinga mwana.
Mrs. Hampanda had first hid the information from her husband that she had borrowed some money in order to boost her business. Now, he cannot help but imagine how his son Moses, not his real name, almost became collateral to an agreement gone wrong.
ati siniziyo ati kaya mami bebe vakambati ati vaina nkongole kuri beve so no bwera che direct kungena pa city paka ku bedroom no bwera otenga mwana futi no papira na chitenge cha mene cha mukazi wanga ku beti kwanga so nde mwe nanyamukira kuchoka kunchito sense naenda paka Nyama police.
He is, however, not satisfied with how the police handled the matter, considering the fact that his child was taken by the same woman for more than 4 hours before he was reunited with them.
Police enze pa duty kujenzo nkamba nkani ya mwana wanga mukazi uja oina mfupi enze ati lipstick wakamba ati lipstick na tusisito mangiwa so pa ngamba hapa so ninayesa kushita explain ukambira hapa pankani yanga eveze che pankani ya nkongore ya mukazi wanga kwa sira tatumanye kani ya mwana wanga bangangere bwanji ku bedroom kwanga ine sinilipo mwini wa nyumba olo mukazi salipo then bangene ku bedroom kuja ku bedroom kuli mapandi tumasia chisiye chabe chili chonse nivambiri babere tumasia ku bedroom but bana ngena direct so chinaenda bwisa maningi ujamuzimai police mwabena anaitengera nkani nezoona kwati mu new dawn government vintu vinachinja kazi si vinachinja corruption nde pamene yendera paso cause ni corruption inji isto onekera okumukambisana baja banyamata baenda bakambisana na police.
Effort to get in touch with the accused, Miss Lydia, by broadcast time proved futile as her phone was off.
All the subscriber you have dialed has their phone switched off. Please try again later.
A comment from the police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says the police are looking into the case and further indicates that both women are at the wrong side of the law, as it is an offense to fail to return someone's money, as well as entering someone's home without permission and grabbing their child. Camnet TV is keenly following up the case and trying to get in touch with Miss Lydia. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Scores of unemployed youths say they find freedom and shelter by resting and sleeping on the lawns of the Freedom Statue along Independence Avenue in Lusaka. In separate interviews, the youths acknowledged that the artwork that depicts a man breaking from chains symbolizes freedom, but were quick to add that they are not financially independent and that they find solace in resting at the site. Monday, 24th October, Zambia will celebrate its 58th independence from colonial rule under the theme promoting inclusiveness towards the sustainable social and economic recovery. Details in this report.
The Freedom Statue is located in front of government complex buildings and was erected in 1974 to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Zambia's independence. Although the country held a relatively peaceful transition, winning independence without a civil war or armed revolution, the struggle toward freedom was still long. This symbolic monument honoring the freedom fighters who died during the conflicts was inspired by a real event. The man immortalized in the artwork is the now deceased Nzanko Mpundu Mutembo, a native to the Zambian town of Mbala. After a trial following his arrest for protesting, Mutambo was sent to Livingston prison where he was held in chains. With 8 armed soldiers facing him, he was ordered to break free from his constraints or be shot instantly. Summoning great strength, he managed to break the chains. Even though he contributed to the freedom struggle, Mutembo is said to have died a pauper last year. Zambia's independence struggle will be incomplete without mentioning the name of its founding father, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, who died on June 17, 2021 at the age of 97. Today, the Freedom Statue is a popular gathering place on Africa Day held on May 25. On Zambian Independence Day, October 24, a wreath is laid to honor the freedom fighters that lost their lives. For this reason, government workers were found preparing the site, known as Freedom Acre, for tomorrow's independence festivities, as all roads will be leading there. However, the site has become a den for unemployed youths who are usually found catching a nap on the site, especially during working hours. The youth say they find freedom sleeping at the Freedom Acres, but add that they are not financially free. Some have said, how can they marry if they cannot even manage to support themselves? While others are of the view that the country has become more divided than being united.
Times I come here because I know it's a free area with no restrictions, but the thing is we're supposed to be free. Okay. That's right. Myself, I am, but not financially. Na kuskuru nalipusha grade 1 to 12. Wino. Na hapo napa cooperative college. Nataka kuna agribusiness. Na gombako. After natwa wela. Happening I think up nangu 2 years, yeah. Shakota perform a job. So in the meanwhile, what I do just for survival and everything, to push up and talk about it. No we misha kwa fiola filafine. Then inga wanaka echirenga 10 days upon. If you neka ni na kanze vela. Ngutira station ndi antu ntushia ko. It's not like kwa do ambia we kala pano quite alright and buy sabai kala but if akuno like me personally if you andira bonzi bambi tusafeta besi ntushia ko yama chwa upa mwana kashuara mtu ara kwisanga opa nangune okugira nguna upa mwana kashapa na ngumu fwa na mtu ara kwisa ofya kumpera nchishi nemu inende chula na ina mchushi taire fwa kaso nemu university fina stashani na iso tinga
chiza chimundu chimini na ndechina pulumusa Zambia kuti nkale mwa mtendere ndechina dura cheni kuti bantu bankale free.
Okay.
Kuti chiza chimundu ndevenzi bako cheni.
Why mabolo pumula pano?
Chikote timabolo pumulira pano tima sevenza all night tingo sevenza che so kumangala kulema
because wanu vanati promise kuti vintu vizankala chiteni chi 50 kwacha vizachipa but manje vienda bidulira na tribalism mundial mnayativuta mno Mzambia.
The question begs,
as the national anthem says, are we able to sing of Zambia proud and free? And do we have a crop of youths that are able to change the destiny of this country like the ones that we had prior independence? Tito Kalama, Camnet News.
And in another development, some senior citizens have called on President Hakainde Hichilema and his administration to pay attention to issues affecting them. Those interviewed by Camnet News regret that 58 years after independence, old people continue to be neglected. They have underscored the need for the government through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Welfare to find better ways of taking care of the aged in society. Here's a report.
The month of October is precious to Zambians as they reflect on the liberation struggle, above all self-governance, from Britain's leadership. Monday, 24th October 2022, Zambia celebrates the 58th independence under the theme Promoting Inclusiveness Towards Sustainable Social and Economic Recovery. However, the theme contradicts the desire of senior citizens who feel sidelined by successive governments. We took time to speak to some of them to understand the challenges associated with old age. Most of them are not on any social protection mechanism, thus indicating the need for Zambia to double its efforts to safeguard the plight of vulnerable citizens.
Choninga fwaya kuba government kunga fwako mufintu shonde chula nafyo monga ubuikashi life yami kalire ngandansha kwata nchitafyerendi
Misebenza sithi sebenza tinkhala jaba fakazi wanga sasebenza naine bamozi sinisebenza ya chimene chifunika nithandizo chabe yandalama Meja chikulu chimene chifunika chakuti chizitithandiza ko chakuja.
And for this freedom fighter who feels neglected, he has a message for President Hakainde Hichilema's administration.
If it is my freedom fighter kulimbana na azungu ayona nthawi ya azungu tinali kushupika ife nthawi ija tabena tinali ma 18 years vene kaunda vanari vakuru ife tinati monga mayusi amene tinali kuthandiza kubroka malodi kuita bwanji kutumiwa muja maona koma sitinalandireko kapena oro wanu ngwe kufika nthawi zino iyayi koma wanzatu wena anali kulandira mukaenda monga Mozambiki, Zimbabwe, South Africa, ma freedom fighters vamalandirako kandalama kang'ono kuti kaziva thandizirako mamene muja manje muno mu Zambia simuchita vamene vija AI maona ya mutiitana chabe kuzadya nsima chabe lakilati taenda.
Meanwhile, an advocate for the rights of old people, Joseph Shambosha, reminds leaders and citizens that no one will remain forever young, hence the need to prepare for old age.
You need someone who's got strength to look after you. It might not be about financial help, it will be also mental help and interaction as well, you know, to guide them. There are stages in life. When you are young, you are a baby, you will need help from your parents, of course. It's the same as thing when you grow up, you reach on our age, we need that kind of help as well, depends on the age where you are. When you grow up above 80 and above, you also need help from people. So I want to tell people in the society that please, wherever you are, help your grandparents. It's very much important.
While Zambia has achieved self-governance, concerns remain on the need to attain financial independence. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
President Hakainde Hichilema has pardoned 1,125 inmates countrywide to mark 58 years of the country's independence. Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbu told a press conference Sunday, 23rd October 2022, that of the pardoned, 1,074 are male, while 51 are female. Mr. Mwimbu explains that government, in collaboration with other stakeholders through its attempt to meet the needs of ex-inmates, is providing psychosocial counseling services to inmates with a view of helping them not to reoffend. He notes that former inmates are among the most marginalized people in society due to the criminal tags associated with incarceration. More in this report.
As of the 23rd of October 2022, the inmate population countrywide stands at 24,704. Out of these, 653 are females, while 24,051 are males. These figures, especially from the male inmates, show that correctional facilities are overstretched and cannot adequately house the large number of inmates. It is for this reason why President Hakainde Hichilema has granted a presidential amnesty to help decongest correctional facilities across the country. Sunday morning, 1,125 inmates were granted presidential amnesty as part of the commemoration to mark the country's 58th independence anniversary. The action by the president is pursuant to Article 97 of the Constitution, which provides for presidential pardon and substitution of several punishments imposed on convicted persons. Among those pardoned, 1,074 are males, while 51 are female. Disclosing this information, Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbu also reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring that the challenges associated with water and sanitation faced by inmates in most of the correctional centers are addressed.
At the same time, we are ensuring that all detention and correctional centers have flushable toilets, access to electricity, and adequate ventilation to improve the welfare of both inmates and officers. Zambia is a signatory to many treaties and conventions on human rights that include treatment of inmates. To this effect, government is working hard to ensure that it adheres to the United Nations minimum standard rules.
Among other issues facing inmates, the government says it is committed to enhancing the criminal justice system by bringing on board all stakeholders, including the judiciary, so that cases are disposed of in good time without delay. Another essential element that government has also put into consideration is offering treatment programs and psychosocial counseling to inmates, as this is aimed at helping them not to reoffend society again once they are reintegrated.
Has been spearheading the creation of cooperatives by ex-inmates. The concept is used as one of the platforms through which ex-inmates are empowered with resources to help them integrate in communities with less challenges.
Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
All People's Congress Party leader Nelson Msoni has reaffirmed that the United Party for National Development Alliance has failed and has set a bad precedence in the political fraternity. Mr. Msoni is convinced that the formation of political alliances cannot be trusted again in Zambia in the near future following the outcome of the UPND alliance. He acknowledged that political alliances are not provided for in the Republican Constitution, and as such, this leaves the other constituting political parties completely vulnerable to political manipulation and deceit by the chosen sponsoring political party. He has since cautioned opposition political parties that intend to form political alliances to be cautious as they risk escorting the main political party, which would not appreciate their efforts, just like is the case with the UPND alliance.
Remember, they say so if you go it alone, even the people that have not voted for you all these years, what makes you think they'll vote for you when you go it alone again? So the voters clearly see through the insincerity and the treacherous behavior of the party that was elected on the basis of belonging to an alliance. I repeat, for avoidance of doubt, that overpowering other political...
A governance activist, Josek Kunda, has charged that the removal of the Director of Public Prosecution from office by the President is confrontational and has invited a number of questions given the fact that she had earlier asked that her oath of secrecy be suspended. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Kunda says this leaves the country with no option but to amend the constitution so that the right procedure should be taken in removing a DPP from office. Earlier this month, President Hakainde Hichilema removed Lilian Siyunyi from the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, following recommendations contained in the report presented to him by the Judicial Complaints Commission, JCC.
President is an independent institution which also operates on its own, and it has its own mandate as the president has done. But at the same time, the judiciary is also independent and operates independently. Hence, we may blame the gaps in the constitution. There is a need for amendments in our constitution so that the right procedure should be taken in removing the Director of Public Prosecution, because the President, in his own way of doing things and following the recommendation from the JCC, is right constitutionally to have removed the DPP and replacing her with Judge, Gilbert Piri, who was previously the Anti-Corruption Commission Director, but now he has taken over as DPP before Parliament could ratify, and Parliament of course has to confirm the appointment. The matter has to go before Parliament, so he's standing in for now and is poised to take over as we await for parliamentary ratification. I should mention that we have a lot of anomalies in our law. We have a lot of gaps that need to be reconciled. There is a need to do some amendments.
President Hakainde Hichilema has congratulated President Xi Jinping on his re-election as General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. President Hichilema says the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Zambia enjoy an all-weather friendship that spans over many decades. He says he looks forward to continue working relations as long-standing friends for the mutual prosperity of the people of the two nations. You're watching Camnet Television News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
In our quest to save nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. The Road Transport and Safety Agency, RTSA, has charged 30 motorists for driving under the influence of alcohol. The motorists were rounded up during an operation that was conducted by the RATSA in Livingstone Saturday. The agency, which is currently conducting a road traffic law enforcement operation on the line of rail, recently appealed to motorists and other road users to adhere to road traffic laws and regulations in the run-up to the Independence holiday. RTSA Public Relations Manager Mukela Mangolwa says the holiday, which coincided with the Zambian Brewery's annual event dubbed the Mosi Day of Thunder, was held yesterday, has seen an increase in traffic accidents to and in the tourist capital, heightening the risk of road traffic accidents. He says the 30 motorists whose cars were also impounded are all scheduled to appear in the Livingstone Magistrate Court on Tuesday to answer to the charges. The Media Network on Child Rights and Development is disappointed with a statement attributed to Central Province Permanent Secretary Miona Mwanakampwe, advising girls to close their legs during lessons to avoid tempting teachers during the commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child. Organization's Executive Director Henry Kabwe says this is a classic example of pedophilia, stating that the lust to sleep with children is rampant in society. Mr. Kabwe says he did not expect a responsible leader like Mr. Mwanakampwe to direct children, but the message should have been addressed to the teachers who are custodians paid by the government to ensure that girls and boys are well behaved. The child rights activist has encouraged the Ministry of Education to emphasize the need to make it mandatory for all teachers to address comprehensive sexuality education subjects because not all teachers are open to talk to learners.
This is a classic example of how pedophilia, the lust to sleep with children, has crept into our society. We do not expect a responsible leader like Mr. Mwanakampwe to direct children, but the message should have been addressed to teachers who are custodians paid by government to ensure that girls and boys are well behaved. We encourage the Ministry of Education to emphasize the need to make it mandatory for all teachers to address comprehensive sexuality education, CSC subjects, because not teachers are open to talk to learners. This is because teachers who abuse girls may not be free to talk about sexuality, and the need for them to protect themselves and make it a routine after being groomed in sexual acts. What can stop a teacher from telling learners to close their legs and engage them in talks about sexuality? We further appeal to the Ministry of Education to set up reporting mechanisms for learners to report actual or suspected cases of sexual relationships in schools. We appeal to leaders, especially government officials, to familiarize themselves with the human rights-based approaches that emphasize the relationship between duty bearers, who are teachers in this case, and rights holders, who are learners that are supposed to be protected.
Kafue Member of Parliament Miriam Chinyama has called on investigative wings of government to expedite and investigate the alleged land scam in her constituency involving 58 million kwacha. The lawmaker says she is appalled by social media reports of an alleged land scam involving a number of prominent individuals and institutions. She has urged investigative wings to quickly get to the bottom of the reports and establish the facts around the matter. However, she has cautioned members of the general public to remain calm and wait for investigations in the matter to be concluded. This is Camnet Television News. We'll take a break and we'll have international and sports news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
This Independence, take advantage of our special offers. We're having our flat drip tips at 2,800 kwacha, or you can get it per meter at 1 kwacha 15 ngwe. Get our 500 meter round hose with a 1.1 millimeter thickness at 1,200 kwacha. Rainglow, bringing you durable products that will last you many seasons.
Now in foreign news, in Somalia, entire villages are struggling to find food due to a prolonged severe drought. Hundreds of thousands of people have moved to Baidoa city, hoping to find work, shelter and food. The UN says people have set up their own displacement camps for themselves. For more in international news, we'll take a look at this roundup.
Surviving in Somalia's Baidoa city has turned into a dire challenge. Hundreds of thousands of people have poured into the city after severe droughts made their remote villages unlivable. The influx is overwhelming the city, but displaced families say it's better than what they left behind. With nowhere else to go, the United Nations says displaced communities have set up hundreds of scattered camps themselves. Mohammed Adam is struggling to make ends meet. He's been searching for work all day, helping people move their belongings. He cares after his mother and younger brothers. But on a good day, he says he earns less than $2.
I'm out here from early morning till night. This is the only work I've got. I wish I had better options.
The Somali currency, the shilling, is also struggling.
Look at our currency, it's worth nothing. This entire bundle of cash is just worth about $40.
International aid doesn't always reach those who need it most.
What we need right now is actually ensuring that funding is going directly towards local communities and making sure that INGOs, organizations like NRC, and also those at the forefront are able to directly support those who are affected by it.
The desperation is palpable. Faced with the worst drought in 40 years, scenes of poverty and hunger are becoming more common. Amina is among thousands who beg for food, hoping for sympathy.
I have not eaten anything for 2 days. I've been begging for food, but often there's no response.
It's yet another crisis for the government, which is already facing political instability, armed groups, and a weak economy. Roughly 70% of adult Somalis don't have jobs, and for now, there's little hope things will improve soon.
South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma on Saturday accused his successor Cyril Ramaphosa of corruption. Zuma's claims follow a cash heist scandal at Ramaphosa's farm in which $4 million was allegedly stolen by robbers. The allegations could damage Ramaphosa ahead of a key party meeting in December.
Conducted private business while holding the high office of president is nothing but corruption, which is inconsistent with the nature of that office and the Constitution itself.
Zuma himself is facing a litany of corruption charges. Ramaphosa has denied claims that he hid news of the robbery from the police and the tax authorities.
Let's have some sports news. CHONGWE Mayor Christopher Habenzus has called for equality in the sporting fraternity in order for all sports to receive equal recognition in the district and the country. Mr. Habenzus says the active diversion of attention to all sports contributes towards equalizing various types of opportunities for the marginalized groups in the district. He was speaking when he officiated at the 2022 CHONGWE Mayoral Chess Tournament held at the University of Lusaka UNILAS on Saturday. And Chess Federation Vice President Leslie Chikose thanked the mayor for partnering up with the Chess Federation of Zambia to both fund and host this event in CHONGWE.
The UPND government, under the leadership of His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, places great emphasis on the need to equalize all sports disciplines in the country in order for them to be equally recognized. Hence, the need for this much needed tournament. We are not talking about football or soccer only. We need holistic development. When we talk about socio-economic development, the social side of things, apart from money, human development has got many facets. Intellectual development is very important. Sports is very important. Now, chess combines those. It is a game that helps in many spheres. When you apply chess, apart from winning on the chessboard, you produce a dangerous mind, a mind that this country needs. And therefore, it is important that we recognize sports such as chess for our development as a people. I am additionally happy to note that both women and school-going children are also participating in the various categories. As Mayor of CHONGWE District, I strongly believe that the active involvement of women and youths in activities of this manner will contribute towards equalizing opportunities for these marginalized groups.
That chess story brings us to the end of our news tonight. But before we go, the headlines once again. A moneylender threatened with legal action for taking a child as collateral. President Hakainde Hichilema pardons over 1,000 inmates ahead of Independence Day. Opposition political parties cautioned on political alliances as uncertainty engulfs the UPND PACT. In international news, thousands of displaced Somalis are in desperate search of food. And in sports news, CHONGWE Mayor wants eco-funding for all sports activities. Our Camnet verse for the day is coming from John 7, verse 37 to 38. On the last and greatest day of the festival, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as Scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them." Thank you again for watching the news. I'm Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.